So this is the final session of the present session. So we are so far discussing about the past and the futures, but now we are trying to thinking of the present issues. So how to enhance resilience from the perspective of economics and management. So my name is Takashi Kanamura. The schedule of this the session is that first I'm going to make an introduction of the 5 minutes introduction of this session, and then we invited to the presentators, the Professor Stefan Truk and the Professor Kazuhiko Hashi. And then after the presentation, I'm going to discuss the two things. And then finally, we will talk about the conclusions. So the background of this session, so natural disasters, including the storm and the flood damages severely cause uncertainty in economic activities. So this is one of the biggest present issues we have to tackle as soon as possible, thinking of recent severe natural disaster event all over the world. Today we have the very severe the earthquake and tsunami. So this is not the rare event. So for example, the impact to the economy or industries, thinking of the agriculture from the primary sectors. It is said that the bad weather and flood damage reduce the output of crops, resulting in the surge of the prices. So that is related to the supply and demand relationships. So and then also looking at the secondary sector, for example, the energy sector. So the drought causes the lower the price, low the power generation from hydropower plants, and if it lasts long, so as the severe drought, the number of the operating power unit with low marginal cost in whole power industry decreased in line with the number of suspended hydropower plants, so resulting in the prices. So the secondary industries are also affected the weather and then the climate changes. And then also thinking of the sectors, the tourism businesses, for example, the warm winters and the cool summer from the extreme weather cause the revenue reduction, for example, the ski and the beach resorts. So that's why the thinking of the all industries today, the global warming and extreme weather are recognized. All industries are severely affected by the natural disasters whose impacts are not negligible in their operations. So, and then we look at the situation of the damages to the economy. So the Munich Re, one of the one of the biggest reinsurance company that reported that the total economic losses from natural gas disasters amounted to 100 billion US dollars. So that is also almost the same as the annual government revenue levels of the Portuguese, Poland, or Taiwan. So that's why the whole world, the disaster damages are very, very big all over the world. So this is pictures from the Munich Re's. So the economic losses, the green part is the meteorological events. The overall loss is 100 billion US dollars in 2015. And then the 47% is a meteorological event. And then the 28% is a hydrological event. And then the 18% is the climatological event, and then the geophysical events. So that's why the loss distribution is the biggest one is the meteorological. For example, the tropical warm storms, the local storm, the storm kind of things, the big losses, causes the big losses. And then the second one is the hydrological one, the flood or something like that. But on the other side, we are looking at the insured losses, so covered losses. The distribution is completely different. So the hurricane type of things they are covered much, but the hydrological was less than the percentages. And then also the climatological, this is related to the climate changes. And then the earthquake, very, very low percentages comparing to the real damages. So we have so many skills or the knowledges about the economics and management, in particular the insurance and finance, but in reality, that is not really fully used. So it is an urgent issue for all industry entities which are going concern to recognize the hedge risk of future uncertainty from the natural disasters. So we need to mitigate natural disaster risks, which are captured as one of the most important future uncertainties by using the economics and management. In particular, in this session, we are using the finance and insurance. So I'm now talking about today's presentation. The development of the financial and insurance market has recently helped to alleviate natural disaster risk. As today's first topic, I will invite the two persons. The first presenter, the Professor Stefan Truk, addresses a real option approach to evaluate the timing of investment for adaptation to climate-impacted hazards by using an example of the bushfire risk management in a region, northern Sydney. So that is the first presentation. The second presentation, Professor Ohashi addresses the issue of the reinsurance. This is insurance side, risk under securitization using example of the catastrophic index futures. Okay, so I hand it the mic to the Stefan first, please.